Hello, it is Foundation Friday, May 24th, 2024. Steve Sipress here on a gorgeous, spectacular, beautiful Memorial Day weekend kickoff day here in way too hot and way too sunny Phoenix, Scottsdale area, Arizona. Before we start, I hope that you remember while you're having all your fun and barbecues and swimming in the pool and hanging out with family this weekend, you remember, especially here in the U.S., what the holiday's all about, Memorial Day. It's where we remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice, those who died protecting our country, those who sacrificed their life in the military. That's what Memorial Day is all about. So I hope, sincerely hope, that you will stop and pause at the very least among all the festivities to remember what the holiday is all about and to thank those and the families of those who gave all for this, the greatest country in the history of the world. Okay, let's get to today's Foundational Friday tip. It's another in our multi-part series on the fantastic foundational book, 2,239 Tested Secrets for Direct Marketing Success, compiled by the great Denny Hatch. And here we have a tip from, speaking of the great Rose Harper. So if you're not a student of the history of direct advertising and marketing, you might not be familiar with Rose Harper. What a character. If you watched any of the Mad Men show that was on, I think it was on HBO years ago, she was one of the very few women that made her way and made her mark in that old boys club, certainly man's world, of the rough and tumble New York City, Madison Avenue advertising world of the 1960s. If you remember that show, and Don Draper, the hard-drinking, hard-charging, womanizing, old boys club thing, and you remember the woman character there, Don Draper's kind of protege, the one woman kind of breaking in as a copywriter. I don't remember her name. I know she went on to play a nun or something on another show. But anyway, Rose Harper, man, she was known for drinking whiskey with the boys and wrote some of the great books on direct marketing, direct advertising. In fact, in New York, there's a restaurant that is named after her, Harper's Bistro and Chop House, which famously the bathrooms, the men's and women's bathrooms, are wallpapered completely with advertisements from the 60s, from her area that she was one of the queens of. And also note, if you watched any of the series, I don't know what it was on because we just watched it streaming, the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is the kind of pretty much based on the life of Joan Rivers, coming up as a comedian in the 1960s, but she was known to have great taste in clothes, as Joan Rivers in real life did as well, with all kinds of outfits. Well, her fancy hats, 30 of the hats that are worn by Mrs. Maisel in the show, I was going to say TV show, but whatever you call a streaming show these days, were owned by Rose Harper. And the estate, Rose Harper passed away in 2010 at the age of 90. And they got those 30 hats from the estate of Rose Harper. So if you see any, if you remember Mrs. Maisel, you watch any of the reruns, you're likely seeing the lead character wearing a hat that was once owned by the great advertising expert and leader, Rose Harper. So without further ado, this chapter by Denny Hatch contains 21 principles of Rose Harper. We're going to talk about one here. And she says to look at the ways that you do your marketing. Now, the ways, that's the W, ways, is the last W of the WOW strategy. So this is as good a time as any to remind you, if you haven't yet, get on over to my website, thewowstrategy.com. You can get a free video, and there's a bunch of other trainings I can get you there on how to make your advertising and marketing work in a tough economy like we've been suffering through for years with no end in sight. In a booming economy, in any type of industry, the WOW strategy has been proven to work for decades, and I dare you to think that you're going to become the first type of business or the first business that I can't make it work for. So you can also reach out to me for personal help. Send me an email, steve@stevecypress.com. Post a comment or a private message wherever you're watching this, reading it, listening to it, go to that website, thewowstrategy.com, and get going with this stuff. But when you talk about the ways, according to the great Rose Harper, she says, look at that like an investor looks at a stock portfolio. Choose mostly safe, guaranteed moneymakers, some slightly more speculative, and some with an element of risk that have a chance of a big payoff. Now, here's the sad thing. As I read that, I was like, wow, shaking my head. You know, there's a reason 90% of businesses go out of business. Most business owners maybe have one thing that works, but they wouldn't call it a guaranteed moneymaker. They would love to have one guaranteed money. She just throws it off, real simply, have a few guaranteed moneymakers. Well, most business owners don't have a guaranteed money-making campaign, advertising, marketing, sales system in your business. If that's you, absolutely get in touch with me. Please do yourself that favor. I am pleading with you on your behalf to get in touch with me or somebody else that knows how to have guaranteed moneymakers, how to have risky marketing and advertising campaigns, how to have some in the middle that are a little bit of risk with some little better payoff. But by all means, if you're watching this or reading it or listening to it, or you're out there running a business and you say, man, I'd give my right arm for a guaranteed money-making marketing or advertising campaign, like, get with the program. Successful businesses have multiples of these, and they use them just as Rose Harper points out, like a stock advisor or an investment advisor puts together a portfolio of investments. So that'll do it. Thanks to Rose Harper. Thanks to Denny Hatch for compiling 2,239 tested secrets for direct marketing success. That'll do it for today, Foundation Friday, May 24th, 2024. Thanks for being here today. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Head on over to thewowstrategy.com for some big-time help from me. And make sure you're back here again with me tomorrow on Social Media Saturday. I will catch you then. Over and out. Bye-bye.